What's up with that? Yeah, scoot forward a little bit. All right, so let me tell you about the program that we're going to do, all right? Let me tell you what we got going on. We've got a program called Young Composers Playground. Were you here last year when I came and did a program here? Who remembers the program we did here last year? Does anybody? What happened? What did we do? We brought some people with some instruments, absolutely. And what did we play? Well, not what instruments did we play, what music did we play?
Let it go song.
I don't remember playing Do You Want to Build a Snowman or Let It Go, to be honest. No, I said not what instruments, what music did we play?
But they did play the flute, but...
Yeah, there was a flute. No, it was violin last year. It was Desiree. Yeah. That wasn't us. So we did a program last year where we played, was it third grade? Where third graders wrote stories and then wrote music, and we played their music. Do you guys remember that concert?
Oh.
No? Were you here?
No.
Yeah? All right, so this program is called Young Composers Playground. And there's going to be 5 pieces to this program. The first thing that you guys are going to do is you're going to write stories. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to write music that goes with your stories. And we're going to help you do that. Then you're going to illustrate your stories. Who can raise their hand and tell me what illustrate means? Right here in front. It means drawing. Do we have some good artists in the room?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to illustrate those stories.
Yes.
Okay. I got it. And I'll wait for you guys. Then the 4th step in our program is that you guys are going to act your stories. Do I have some good actors in this room?
No.
Yeah? I bet I do. And then, this is important. I'll wait for you. The very last step in this process is we're going to put on a performance where we play the music you've written and we show the artwork you've made and you act out your stories. And we're going to do that for the whole school and your families. It's going to be awesome. Some of you are like, oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. But you know what? If you put together any kind of art or music or drama, any creativity, you'll actually see it's best when you have a big audience. That's when it becomes really fun. You get to be stars, right? So, who can raise their hand and tell me what the name of this program and project is called? Right there. Young Composers Playground. Perfect. Thank you so much. Who can raise their hand and tell me what the first step of this project is? Right there. Nope, that's not the first one. Right back there. Well, creativity is involved all the way through, but what was step 1? You need to write stories, and Miss Carissa is going to help you do that. So step 1 was writing stories. What was step 2? No. No, that's in there. What was step 2?
Music to it?
Yeah, we're going to write music to your stories, and that's what me and my team are going to help you do. What's step 3? What do you think? The illustrations, the drawing, right? So what's step 4? Right there. Acting, and we're putting all of these things together for step 5. And what was step 5? Right there. Well, yeah, we're going to put it all together, but for what? What are we putting it all together for? What's the end result? We're going to put on a performance and a concert of your stories and your music and your acting and your artwork. We're going to do a whole great big thing, right? So the first thing that I want to do is I want to define the word composer. Who can tell me what a composer is? Back here.
Someone that writes music?
It is someone that writes music. Sometimes they write music that they're going to play. Sometimes they write music for other people to play. And that's what you guys are doing. You are writing music for someone else to play. That's how that's going to go in this thing. In fact, we are putting on a concert of what is called chamber music. Before we define chamber music, though, who can raise their hand and give me the name of a composer? What do you think?
His name, the one who made the for Lisa.
Yeah, that is a composer. Do you remember his name?
Beethoven.
Beethoven, yes.
That would be Einstein.
Einstein is not a composer. Einstein is a scientist. Although he looks like a bunch of our composers for sure. So we've got Beethoven. Who else can give me the name of a composer? Einstein's kind of a composer in that he mixed a bunch of things together and made something else with them. But it wasn't a music composer. Anybody else? Yeah, what do you think?
Composer of composer of Percy Jackson, the person who created Percy Jackson.
Well, that's a movie, right? We're talking about music. Composers are people that write music. That would be a film director or a screenwriter or that kind of thing.
My bad.
What do you think?
21 Pilots?
You know what? I think 21 Pilots, at least the guy, the blurry face guy that does the singing and plays the piano, I think he might be composing most of those songs.
That's a band.
Yeah, it is, but somebody has to compose the songs for the band, right? Sometimes it's the people in the band. So let's keep going forward, right? We've talked about who some composers are. Are you guys composers?
Yes. Yeah.
You're going to be by the time this is done, right? See, what I want you to know is when you think about a composer, typically you probably see an old white guy with gray hair, and he's probably not alive anymore, it's from a long time ago. What I want you to know is that composers live where you live, and they look like you look.
What?
Composers live where you live, and they look like you look. Yes, that is you. You guys are going to be composers. So we're going to write something. Oh, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. We're going to write something called chamber music. I'm going to give one person a chance to define chamber music. Let's see how we do. What do you think? Soft music. That's not bad. It's not a bad definition because chamber music is typically, okay, let me ask you this. Are there lots of people or only a few people in the orchestra? Lots. And there's lots of different instruments, right? Chamber music is the instruments from the orchestra, but in small groups. A chamber is a room, so it's meant to be just played in a room. That's why it was called chamber music. So you're going to have 2 or 3 players that are playing your music. And I know we're going to have percussion. What's percussion? Yeah, there's so much percussion, right? You have drums and wood blocks and all those things in the drawers and the marimbas and all of that stuff. And then you're going to have violin as well. How do we play the violin? Right? That's what we do with the violin. And you may or may not have piano. We haven't decided yet. So you're going to have percussion and at least violin for sure. So who can raise their hand and tell me what this program is called? What's the program called? Okay. Playground something.
Composer's Playground.
Oh, we're missing one word.
Young composers.
Young Composers Playground. We call it young because are you old?
Yeah.
No, I'm old. You're young. So that's Young Composers Playground. Oh, I'll wait for you guys. What step? Who can raise their hand and tell me step 1? Right here in the red. You're gonna make stories. Who can raise their hand and tell me step 2? Back there. What's step 2? You're going to write music to your stories, and we're going to help you do that. What's step 3? Back here. Yep, you're going to illustrate your stories. What's step 4? Right there in the pink sweater. Yep, we're going to act out your stories. And the end game, the final step of it all is... That's right, it's a performance. And what are you guys going to do with the performance? Shake it? I hope not. You're going to act at the performance. And what am I going to do with the performance? We're going to play your music. That's what we're going to do. So what I want you to do right now is, I've been working with Miss Carissa for years, and we've done this program with all different ages of students, and we've done this program at a few different schools, so we want to watch a video right now of a performance at one of her schools called Edgewater. It's the school she was at before she came to you guys. And we did a piece. You're going to get to see. It looks a lot like what we're going to do, except for this performance is with 3rd graders, right? The one you're going to watch. So we expect 5th grade level work from you guys. We expect 5th grade level stories, and 5th grade level music, and 5th grade level drama, and 5th grade level behavior for sure. So here we go. I want you guys to see this video.
Grace, did you get the lights, please? Thank you, sir. Mr. Conrad is going to ask you after this is over what did you notice. So watch for that.
Is that in your old phone?
Mr. Conrad, they were asking if we're going to videotape them and put it on YouTube. So that
Yeah. No, I would We'll be in 2002.
all right, here we go. I don't have an answer yet. We can ask that later.
Only if you do a great job. Watch and listen.
To discover that all the other instruments were gone. They decided to search for their fellow instruments, each taking a different route. Unfortunately, Vanessa, Elizabeth, and Stevie didn't know what they were to be at the end of the trip. Vanessa was stopped by a ferocious tiger. Horrified, she ran the other way. The tiger chased her. Stevie encountered a bear on his path. Thinking quickly, Stevie used his metal drum parts to create a trap for the bear. Elizabeth was followed by a large lion. She looked the lion in the eye, letting out a piercing high sound and flashing her shining silver in the lion's eyes. The lion ran away. Stevie, Elizabeth, and Vanessa made their way back toward Instrument Village, hoping that each other was safe. The hungry tiger and lion followed them. The bear broke free from his trap and lumbered toward the village. The three friends were relieved to be together again, but their peace and quiet did not last. When they saw three terrified animals running toward the village, Stevie, Elizabeth, and Vanessa got into the instrument truck and drove as fast as possible toward Barneville. In their hurry, they took a wrong turn and got lost. Vanessa got out the map, but it blew up the window. Elizabeth suggested they scare the camera by making horrible sounds. Stevie, Elizabeth, and Vanessa led their most loudest, most weird sounds to scare away the camera. The pianos ran away. Feeling much better now, Vanessa played some peaceful music to calm her friends.
Really nice melody right there.
They were thinking more clearly now, and being able to drive more slowly helped them find their way again on the road. Stevie looked over and Vanessa pulled her into Largoville to find a festival. Everyone from Instrument Village was there, celebrating with music, dancing, and games. Stevie, Elizabeth, and Vanessa felt silly for forgetting them. And they laughed out and loud and joined in the party. The next morning, Stevie, Elizabeth, and Vanessa went back to Instrument Village. They ate breakfast at no restaurant, filling up their musical bellies with panels and syrup. After a big breakfast with notes, they went home.
Nice, nice. You guys think you can do that? Yeah, I think that was third graders. I bet you guys can do even more awesome. Hey, I want 3 people to raise their hands and tell me something they noticed about that, either musically or from the story. What did you notice? What's that? Oh, what's the person that does this called? Yep, that person's called a conductor. Is the conductor the same person as the one that writes the music?
No. Yeah.
No, what's that person called? That's right, the conductor and the composer can be the same person, but they're often not. In fact, most of the time they're not. And in this situation, they won't be, because who's going to compose the music? You guys are, right? So who can raise their hand and tell me something else they noticed there? Yeah, in the back.
Something else I noticed there was that they were all changing and rotating.
Yeah, they had to rotate as to who was going to act and who was going to read, right? While we played their music. Who can tell me something they noticed about the relationship maybe between the music and the story?
It was time.
Music matched with the story.
The music matched with the story, and that's what we're going to do, is we're going to take your stories and put them on timelines, and then you're going to write music that matches that story. And so you're actually tying into something I want to talk about in just a second, but I've got 2 more questions for you. Did you hear music that was written by anybody else in that piece?
No.
There was actually one spot where they used somebody else's music. What was it? But they wrote that. There was a place in there where they used music written by somebody else. They went dun 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 dun. Who wrote that? Do you know? That's Beethoven that wrote that. Are you guys allowed to use music by somebody else in your piece?
Yeah.
No, you have to write your own. Copyright, man. Yeah. You got to write your own music for this. Now, sometimes in little what we would call quotations, it might be okay to borrow a theme here and there, but for the most part, you have to write your own music. The other thing I wanted to ask is, when you listen to the music and watch the players, did they only play one at a time?
No.
They played sometimes one at a time, and sometimes two at a time, and sometimes everybody played, right, as a group. And that's going to be one of the struggles that you guys are going to have to figure out how to do for us, is how do you make music where everybody or more than one person plays at a time, right? Because music that goes from this person over here to this person right here to thumpity drum, 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 it's just not that interesting, right? But when things happen together, it gets more interesting. Now, sometimes when we do one at a time, that does actually help make things interesting. And a lot of times we should make those decisions. What do you think we should make those decisions based on? Whether it's one player or two players or three players.
Story.
Characters in the story, absolutely. Let's give snaps to this room for knowing that. Snaps to this room for knowing characters in story should determine how we're going to use our instruments. So, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about your stories. If I had a story that said, you know what, I woke up this morning and it was a pretty medium day, and I put on just some regular clothes, and I ate just plain bread for breakfast, and then I walked at a very medium speed to school, and nothing happened, and then I got B's on all of my homework, and at recess I just stood there, and for lunch I had food that I can't remember, and then I went home and went to bed. Is that a good story?
No.
What's wrong with that story? Nothing fun is happening, right? Or nothing's happening at all, right? It doesn't even make sense, because that's not how things go. If you want to write really interesting and exciting music, what do we need in your stories? We need exciting stories. Stories with lots of what?
Excitement.
Well, yes, exciting stories have lots of excitement, but we need lots of what? What do you think? We need lots of action. What else do we need? Well, but you're making music to the stories already. We're just talking about your stories. But yes, your stories are going to have music. That will make them more exciting. Yes? Well, we need lots of drama and action, right? Not like drama, like you guys can't get along on the playground or anything like that. That's not the kind of drama I'm talking about. I'm talking about all kinds of exciting things like chases and battles and treasure, or whatever you want it to be, but lots and lots of exciting things. Now, I do want to say this. I don't want people to be killed in your stories, okay? Not real people. Like, maybe just the bad prince or something, maybe, or like evil robots, but we got to be careful about killing people in our stories, right? It's just not that cool to do, right? I know you see it in movies a lot, but we want to be careful about that. But we need lots of action and lots of drama and excitement in our stories, because excitement and drama and action in our stories will be excitement and drama and action in our music, right? Who can raise their hand and tell me what this program is called? Right here.
The Young Composer Playground.
And who can, that has not raised their hand yet, raise their hand and tell me what step 1 is? I said not. You 3. Yeah, over here. We're going to write stories, yes. And now I need somebody that hasn't answered a question for me yet to tell me what step 2 is. I think you might have answered one for me. Who hasn't answered a question for me yet? Come on, somebody get brave. Somebody get brave. Somebody get brave. Back there in the red, what's step 2?
Write a story.
Step 1 was write a story. What's step 2? Back there in the blue. We're going to make music to those stories, right? Who hasn't answered a question yet that can tell me step 3? Why do you guys keep raising your hands when I said who hasn't answered a question yet? Come on. Be brave, right here in the minion shirt. What's step 3? Oh, I'm going to wait till it gets quiet. What's step 3? We're going to illustrate those stories. And you in the coat, what's step 4? We're going to act out, so you guys know, we're going to act out the stories. And what is the grand finale, the biggest end game piece? With the performance. And at the performance, who can raise their hand and tell me what you guys are going to do at the performance? What are you going to do? You're going to act, not act out. You're going to act. And who's going to play your music at the performance? Yeah, me and my musicians. And what instruments are you going to write for? No flute. Percussion and violin right now. That's what we know for sure, right? That's what we know for sure. So I need a brand new sheet right here. Is this a brand? Oh, and then I need the pen.
Okay, pen behind here.
Cool, cool. So I want to talk a little bit now about the music part of this, okay? I want to talk about the three. Oh, I need a color. Let's go.
Where's the pen?
Where's the pen? This right here?
Get the pen. It doesn't automatically.
All right, here we go. Can you guys read my sloppy writing? All right. So, I'm going to wait for you guys to get quiet. I need somebody to raise their hand and tell me one of the three basic elements of music. And although I'm going to regret this because you're just going to bombard me with words, I know it's on the wall over there somewhere. In the back.
Tempo.
Tempo is one of them, but it is not the ones I'm looking for. There's three basic ones, yes. Beat is actually part of rhythm, but you got two of them right away. There's rhythm, melody, and what do you think? No, dynamics we're coming to in a minute though. What do you think? Tempo is part of rhythm. Form is actually a bigger thing altogether and a very important thing, but not one of them I'm looking for. What do you think? No, beat is part of rhythm. I already said that. What do you think? Wow, man, that's detail. Articulation is detail. I heard somebody say it. Who said it? Harmony. Right on, right on. I'll wait for you guys. So what I want to do is I want to define these words for you in relationship to your stories. So the way that I look at melody is the part that you remember, right? It's the thing that you can sing or whistle or hum after a piece of music is done. But for us, it is the musical sentences in our story.
What is the second?
Sentences. My writing's bad, huh? But yeah, that's all right. You'll get it clean all this up. So the melody is the musical sentences in our story. So maybe if my story has something like, I flew all over the place and flew to the clouds and the sun, I would have right? Now you think that's silly, but you know the best way for you to get your musical ideas out of your head to me so that I can write them down for the players? You know what the best way to do that's going to be? You're going to need to sing them. Now we're going to give you some other options, but singing is going to be really, really important for us. So melody is the musical sentences in our story. What do you think? What is rhythm? What do you think? Yeah, rhythm is beat and motion and pulse, right? Rhythm is something percussion is great at. But for us, rhythm is the words and syllables in our musical sentences, right? Have you noticed that when I talk, I don't make everything the same length?
Yes.
When you talk, do you make everything the same length?
Yeah.
No, because then you would be a robot, right? When we talk, sometimes we speed things up and sometimes we slow things down. And sometimes
We do Largo.
Sometimes. Yeah, Largo is slow, right? Sometimes we slow things down. Sometimes things are long. Sometimes use.
Presto. Largo.
Nope, what did I use? Listen, everybody listen. Watch this. Watch me listen. Shh, 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 shh. Sometimes we use. Yeah, we use silence, right? Sometimes we use silence even. It can be very useful. So we've got melody, we've got rhythm, and then we've got harmony. And harmony is the background or scenery in our musical story. Maybe my musical story has me walking very quickly, but through a very rough piece of ground, and I could go. What did I do with my left hand? Which one of those was my left hand?
Rhythm.
It was actually rhythm, but what else was it?
Melody.
No, melody was here. It was the harmony, right? And do you see how rhythm works with melody and harmony? They all work together, right? And so you guys are going to have to come up with stories that have lots of drama and action in them. And then you're going to have to turn your stories into musical ideas using melody, rhythm, and harmony. Now there are a couple other elements of music that I want to talk about too. I don't know what I did with the pen. Is it in my pocket? It is. Yay! There are two other elements of rhythm over there that are not of rhythm, of music over there that I think do a great job of helping us with drama. If you read some of those words up there, what do you think would do? Who can raise their hand and tell me two of those words that do a great job helping us with action and drama? Becca, what do you think?
Repeat.
Well, repeat is actually something you guys should not be afraid to do. It's okay to repeat your music and make it longer, especially for 5th graders. What do you think are two words over there that help us? Articulation's a good thing that does drama, for sure, but that's not one of the words I'm looking for. What do you think? Tempo. What does tempo mean?
The speed.
Yeah, the rate of speed. Think about this in relationship to your stories. If I was really running and I was really, really scared, then I think the music is probably going to do what? Yeah? Right, I love that you are using those words over there too. Or, if I am swimming in the sea, largo, or it's going to go slow, right? What's the other word over there I'm looking for? What do you think? Yeah, right on, get some snaps, give snaps.
How loud and how
Dynamics is volume, and the two of these together, oh, I'm going to wait for you guys. The two of these together, we can use to create drama and excitement, right? Think about dynamics is volume. If in my story, I am sneaking up on this monster. What dynamic did I just use? Which one? No. If I just was, no, that's tempo. If I just was, maybe even pianissimo, right? I was,
You were speaking.
the monster. And then the monster woke up! What dynamic did I use there? That was fortissimo, right? Did you also notice that I talked slower? And then I yelled really fast, right? And so dynamics and tempo combine. Dynamics and tempo combine to help us represent action and drama in our music. Now, I've got another thing that I need to define for you. Notation. What is notation? Rotation? No, this is rotation. What's notation? Yeah, now see, we got to talk a little bit about how are you going to show us your musical ideas. What did I say before was the best way for you to show us your musical ideas? To sing them to us, right? We're also going to have keyboards for you to play, but the thing I worry about is I don't want your ideas to be confined to what you know how to play. Does that make sense? Like if I put you at the keyboard, you could probably only play a certain number of things, huh? But the ideas in your head are way better than that. And so the best way for you to get the ideas out of your head to us, to make your pieces of music awesome, are singing, right? And remember, I sang a melody when I was doing the violin, right? And so notation is how music is written down. And I don't expect you to know how to do this perfectly. I don't expect you to know how to do this. We're going to do it for you. But I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about how you're going to communicate ideas to me. Who's brave enough to sing a melody right now in front of the class? You got to be brave, right? Wait, I heard somebody. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. I heard somebody sing over here just a second ago. Who did that?
That was me.
What did you do? Do it again. Yeah. We're not going to make you do it in front of the whole class, by the way. We'll put you in small groups and you'll sing them for us. Right? La 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 la. Right? So, oh, I'm going to wait for you guys. There's another way that you can show me your ideas. And that is called graphic notation, where sound matches shapes and colors. And so this is a good way for you to show me ideas. Watch this.
It's like Zentangle. It's like Zentangle.
Does anybody want to try to perform this?
Yeah.
Actually, watch this. I'll give you 3 votes, okay? So I'm going to perform it, and you're going to tell me which one of my performances is actually this. So I'm going to go. That was number 1. Then I'm going to go. And number 3 is dun da da dun 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 da 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 da. Who can raise their hand and tell me which one of my performances was this? Which one? Yeah, number 2, right? I went boom ba boom da do da da do da. Woo woo woo. Now, if you do that for me, I am going to ask you to show me more specifics. But it's a great way to get started, right? That's called graphic notations, where shapes and colors match sound, right? That's where they match sound. So it's really important that we spend a little bit of time thinking about how you get your ideas to us, because I don't want you to be confined to only what you can play. I want to help you get the great, you guys have great imaginations and you have great ideas, and we're going to get great ideas in your stories, but we also want great ideas in your music. We want great ideas in your music, right? So Ms. Carissa, this is the part where we put them in groups, and that's going to be something with this many, I think. Can we do groups of 5?
Yeah, I want to lead.
Oh, hang on. Oh, I love that Davey wants to be a leader. How many do we have in the room right now?
20.
Down out. Down out. You guys can have a seat. Have a seat in your groups. Have a seat in your groups. All right, here's what we're going to do. You are going to make up a short story with 2 characters and a beginning, and then what? A middle, and then an end. And when you have that done, you are going to call me over or Miss Carissa over, and we will listen to your characters, beginning, middle, end, and then we will let you have some instruments. And you are going to use instruments and your voices to make music to your stories. Okay, so sit in circles, sit in circles. I need 2 characters, beginning, middle, end. I know these are big groups.
I want to be